Hey everybody, it's Ty from K2 Data Science and Engineering. In this video, we're going to analyze our blog articles and compute summary statistics. Analytics is a massive field. It encompasses data science and many other concepts. In this project, we will mostly be looking at counts and computing averages. Nothing crazy, but these will be useful metrics for understanding how competitors use their blogging platforms. So we have a separate notebook here for computing analytics. Let's walk through it. In the first cell, simply just that code to widen the notebook. And then our import cell, we're importing the JSON package so we can load that file we created in the last video. And then we're going to import counter from collections. Counter is a special type in Python that counts the occurrences of an item when you send it through. So if you send a list into counter, it will count the number of items in the list. So then on the next line, we're simply just doing the reverse of what we did in the last video. We're opening and reading the JSON file instead of writing it. And then we're storing it in the variable called article store. Now this block is the bulk of our analytics code. We're creating a bunch of different empty lists at the top: times, months, weekdays, authors, categories. And then we're iterating through every article in our article store. Now we're going to extract out the reading time in every article, and then we'll calculate the average, and we're just going to round that to 2 digits. Then we'll extract out all the months of the posts, and then we'll feed it and create a new counter object. So we'll get a count of all the months, how many articles were posted in September, October, November, and so forth. Then we'll do the same for by weekday. We'll do the same for categories. Now categories will be a little bit different because some articles may have multiple categories, so we're just going to append and create a big list of all the categories of all the articles, so there'll be a lot of duplicates, and then we'll do a counter. And then we'll do the same thing for the author. So that won't take that long to run. And then we can print out our counter objects so we can see the average reading time. Then we can see post by month, post by weekday, post by category, and so forth. So the one important thing to note is that counter actually sorts the objects by the highest count. So here we'll get the month, but it's not necessarily organized by the calendar, and the same with the weekdays. Eventually, when we want to put this on our dashboard, if we wanted to put this in order, you could either manually sort that here in the Jupyter Notebook, or you could manually sort it in the Flask application. So for now, we'll just manually sort it in the Flask application. We're not printing out the months, we're actually just going to print out the days. So we just have to reorganize the weekday counter when we output it. But then otherwise, if we wanted to just get the top 10 categories, we just had to pull out the first 10 items of the counter because it's already sorted. Now in the last line, we're just going to create a stats dictionary. So that's just the average reading time of all the articles and the number of articles. So those are just 2 key value pairs that we're going to store, and then we'll export into a JSON file. Then we're going to export our weekday counter object, and then our month, and then our category and our author. And we're just going to export these as separate JSON files so that we can call them in different parts of our web dashboard. But you could just keep them all in one dictionary and export it into one JSON file or one pickle file and just import them. I'm simply keeping them separate so it's easier to navigate through them. So there, that's exported. We can actually take a look at all the exports. So you'll see all the JSON files are here in the data folder. That's it for this video. In the next video, we'll design a mockup for our front end and then write the code for our dashboard.